This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
You know, there's always been a phrase that you need a wake-up call. And I don't mean just waking you up first thing in the morning. Sometimes people say, well, you know, that's a wake-up call to realize at whatever it is. We are going to talk about awakenings today because they show up in many different ways, many different areas of our lives. There's so many different awakenings, even spiritual awakenings. And she helps people find those moments where they have that clarity and realization, what the awakening may be or what you need to wake up from. She's a transformational life coach, and she's back with us. Donna Andrews on the program. How are you doing today?
Great.
The whole awakening thing. Now, as I start thinking about that, even just that word, it's kind of profound. Once you start digging within a little bit, you start seeing things that maybe you've awoken from, maybe had realizations. Let's go to basics here. When you talk about awakenings, how are you looking at it?
Well, when I'm talking about awakening, I'm talking about a spiritual awakening. Something that, your things just start changing a little bit. As I'm getting older, and maybe it's not because I'm getting older, maybe people as they're in their younger years are awakening and it just happened to hit me at this age. Just things are starting to hit me different. And my religious things are hitting me differently. And I'm kind of going within a lot more and introspectively kind of looking to see what's going on and things like that. And kind of checking my tires a little bit. And kind of comes in a whisper a little bit at the beginning, when there's more to life, and I don't know, it's just something that's kind of got me off a little bit, and got me really thinking about what's going on with my life and where do I belong?
I've heard people say they went through a spiritual awakening, and the descriptions are varied extremely. Like, somebody said they had one and life-changing, it was wonderful. I've heard descriptions of it, and this is the other extreme, that it took them a year and it was kind of hellish going through this awakening. But when they got to the other side, it was amazing. Like being reborn. You hear it all different ways. Would you say that you've been through a spiritual awakening?
I'd say I'm going through one right now. And yeah, it's very, at this time, I'm kind of isolated. I'm not really peopling a lot right now. Just because I really want to know what the voice inside me is saying and what I'm thinking.
It's interesting. I hear where you're going with that. And I might even say that I'm in the process of one too, but more low level by intention. But I'm starting to look at things around me and process them. Do they support that person, people in my life, these, whatever it is, do they really fit now? Maybe they did a couple of years ago. Just reevaluating. I think that's maybe my best word for the reevaluating your life in a way.
Right. Does this bring me joy? If it doesn't bring me joy, I'm not doing it.
Mm,
unless it's something absolutely, you got to pay taxes and things like that. But, if it doesn't bring me joy, I don't want to do it, you know, and, and I can do that now. I don't, there are things that I just don't have to do, I
mm,
don't have to spend time with people that I don't want to spend time with.
hmm.
That's my option.
Yeah. And I started thinking that a few years ago, but I never put it into motion. Like I remember the day, it was a year ago, and there's a small airport nearby where I am, and it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I had a meeting later on, and I was like, I'm just gonna just grab something to eat, sit, near a runway, and just hang out. It's beautiful breeze, maybe see a plane take off. This is great. And then my phone rings, and I knew who it was. Very close to them, love them, all good. But I think when you see a call come in, what to expect. And it's somebody that is heavy, somewhat draining, needs attention, needs,
Hmm.
direction. And I answered the call, but I said before in my mind before I did, I'm never doing this again. If
Hmm.
I'm setting time aside for me, I'm not going to give to others unless it's an emergency. It wasn't.
Right.
And did I hold true to that? Not so much. But as time goes on since that year ago, I'm starting to, all right, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this
Hmm.
if it doesn't feel right and it doesn't support you.
Right.
Hmm. If
And
it's a journey.
there are certain people that will call me, and if I don't want to talk, I don't talk to them.
Hmm.
It's not, I know that they're fine. There are other people that will answer the phone for them, so I know they're fine.
Hmm.
And if it's an emergency, they know how to they know to get around to get to me. So
Exactly.
there are ways to get to me in an emergency. And so, you know, um, it's not that I can't be gotten a hold of. It's that there are just sometimes I don't want to talk to certain people.
Hmm. Donna, what was the point where you said it's time to reevaluate? It's time to look at this spiritual journey and just kind of, maybe distance a little bit till you figure it all out. Was it intentional or it just happened?
I don't know. I've had in the last year and a half, I've had several dark nights of the soul where I wasn't quite sure I was coming out of it the next day alive. To be brutally honest, I really wasn't sure. And so if I'm put here to love and to be happy and to have joy. And I I just don't I know that's what God or the higher being, whatever. I was I was when I went to NA once, the girl there said, even if you don't believe in God, it's good orderly direction. And that's good enough, good acronym for it anyway. So I say God. Um, God doesn't want me to be unhappy. And so God, he gave us this great life, and I have a great life. I really do. And there's a lot of people that would kill to have a life that I have. And um so uh for me to not be happy and have this life of abundance, and that I can do what I want to do and I can afford to pay my bills, um you know I don't really have a right to be unhappy. So I
Mhm.
make sure that I keep myself happy. And if I'm not happy, I always tell you I journal. So I'm journaling.
Mm, mm.
And
I gotta get back to that. I was doing it, and then I kind of stopped a little while, and then every day I write in my gratitude journal, and that's very quick. You know, the
mhm,
journal is more intentional, takes more time, takes more effort, thought. I will tell you that I got in a habit of going down a negative road. It's just stating,
right,
things that are going on that, maybe not be the most positive that I'm trying to process, et cetera. And it almost felt like we were talking about before, where that friend calls you and it's just like, I don't want to hear it again. Well, I was thinking that of myself as I'm writing. I'm like, I don't want to,
right,
I don't want to hear me, do this. So I need to go back to it and then blend the positive with the negative in writing in the journal.
right.
Just a different vibe.
Yeah, but you should be so proud of yourself just because you do the gratitude journal. If everybody would just do a gratitude journal, they'd be way better off.
I agree. And many believe that when you are grateful for things, the universe gives you more of those things.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that just side note here, what made it easier, and you could buy a $1.99 spiral notebook, but I bought a gratitude journal online, bought it on Amazon. There's one for like $24. And I looked a little bit deeper. There's a knockoff of the same one for $8. And all the fields are there, including what are you grateful for today? What would make today great? Your affirmations. And then in the evening, if you want, what would you have changed today? What acts of kindness did you do? And then the fields are all there. $8. I
Right.
mean, last you a year more. So worth it.
Right.
It's just easy,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Whatever works for us.
Right.
Um, how do you describe? I want to go deeper into your spiritual journey. How do you describe it? What do you feel? What do you see? I know it's different for everyone, but just kind of curious.
Uh, for me, I'm I'm I just feel this closeness with a higher being. I feel I'm starting to I've been meditating, trying to get quiet in myself. Um, I watch a lot of YouTube videos on spirituality, different kinds of different religions, and how each religion came about, and you know things like that. Um, uh, I like nature, so I like to put my feet in the grass and have that connection with nature and root myself in that. Um, and I pray and um, things like that.
Hmm.
It's
The
kind of a pretty basic kind of a thing.
um, what you're describing is pretty much describing me. Same thing, and maybe a slight turning point was about a month ago where I went away, first time by myself. I knew somebody there where I was going, out of the country, Caribbean. Yeah, somebody connected to work, but I freely told them, I love you. You got your thing going on. We don't need to hang, get together for, a beer, talk business for an hour, and that's it. Pretend I'm not here. It's all good. Um,
Hmm.
I went with the intention of just what you described. And I will tell you, the first couple of days, very awkward, very uncomfortable, out of sorts. Like I just like, what's going on here? And when I got in my groove, wonderful. Reflecting, reading, did a past life regression with someone. Like it was
Oh, nice.
when I look back at those days, I I didn't see it then as I see it now, but that was
Hmm.
amazing. Um,
Yeah.
I'm going to do it again. It was so
Yeah.
inexpensive. Side note, um,
Right.
I'm going to go back in September. It just was just perfect. is perfect. And maybe that's what we need.
Right.
And the quiet, um, I'm part of a men's group, and this came up recently. And, somebody had some challenges and everything. And somebody said, have you ever like sat in quiet, like did nothing? And he thought for a moment and he said, no. And we all said, that's what you need to do. Like, just be
Mm-hmm.
quiet, just think, call it meditate, call it just be by yourself in
Right.
quiet and process. There's times like I've driven to the beach, grateful that we have them where I am nearby. Sat for an hour,
Right.
like a new person, drive away. Got answers. That's clear now. Right?
Right. Right. Yeah. In January, they had a convention for dream builders, and I went out there, and I had a lady that went with me, and after I got her sent back home, it was really nice. It was a little crazy for a minute, but I got her back home, and that was part of my test, was to see if I was strong enough to do that. And
Hmm.
I was. I got her sent back home, and then it was nice. I was proud of myself. I got everything done the way I needed to do it, and it was good. And I want to go to Sedona. Sedona is my thing right now. I want to go to Sedona, and
Hmm.
and they have somebody was talking, channel was talking about, a lady that channels was talking about, she went to Sedona. She wanted to have a near death experience without nearly dying, and they have a a spa treatment that you can have that does that. And that's what I want to do. I want to have a near death experience without actually nearly dying.
Hmm.
And that's what I would like to do.
Got to tell you, Donna, this is the third time this week that Sedona has come up in my world. Just mentions. People have
Yeah.
mentioned it. And
Hmm.
I met somebody, over a year ago, um, that does retreats in Sedona. She lives maybe like an hour away from there. And I was thinking about it. I wasn't ready for it. I went, call it a retreat, but not there. But now I'm
Hmm.
actually thinking about circling back to it. Um,
Hmm.
and I didn't realize how magical Sedona is. There's more going on there than just, cool rocks and decent
Right.
weather.
Right. Right. Oh,
Hmm.
absolutely. It's magical from what I hear. It's absolutely magical. I I do Reiki also. And one of my Reiki share groups, the lady had just gone, there was a lady there that had just gone to Sedona, and she said it was just absolutely amazing.
Hmm.
Amazing. So yeah,
Okay. Well, I'll
I'm
meet you in Sedona.
excited.
Yeah. What,
Oh, yeah.
doing, the work, as they say, working on you, focusing more, going within, spiritual awakening. So far, and you've revealed some things when we've gotten together. I would say that they're probably connected to this awakening. What are some of those
Hmm.
things that have come up for you? Maybe things you feel you need to change, maybe things that you never realized.
Oh, there's so many things that, you know, it, things in my relationship, I've never, I've never got to focus on myself and be,
Hmm.
just Donna as my own entity. I've always been the wife, the daughter, the mother, the whatever. And I'm standing as my individual self and figuring out who I am and what I need. And that's interesting. I'm finding out what I like and what I don't like. Um, I would have never gone somewhere before on my own. So this thing that I went in January by myself, and that I'm thinking about going to Sedona on my own, is, you know, totally crazy.
Mm.
Um, the fact that my that I have openly stated that I'm bisexual and, you know, have, you know, come out with that, and discuss that.
Mm.
Um, uh, the conversations I have with my husband about, that in particular, and, you know, me going on vacation without him, he likes to play cards. And so we've gone to Vegas and he would go and play cards and I would sit in the room because I can only spend so much money playing slots. And, you know, he said, well, I want to go to Vegas. I said, you go to Vegas, I'll go to Sedona.
Mm.
So, I would have never thought about, doing separate vacations before, but, uh, just so many things. He's ready to settle down and, uh, live a quiet life and retire. And I feel like God is calling me to be on the stage and deliver a message.
Mm.
So, you know, that's interesting.
Well,
Yeah.
it seems like you further found your purpose with this awakening. You know who you are, why you're here, why we're even here today talking about it, because you want
Right,
others to realize that there's maybe more out there. And sometimes you have to
right.
take a moment, maybe a year, two, whatever it is.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
How do we connect with you? I know for some this is a little woo, but I promise if you take some time and just think, process for yourself, things are going to start popping up slowly. And if you want to
Yeah,
kind of fast roll that, um, somebody can meet with you, transform their lives as a life coach, a dream builder coach, right?
yeah, absolutely. You can reach me. Um, my number is 810-349-9686. And you can reach me anytime, day or night. Got my phone on me. And I answer that phone all the time. And the or you can reach me on www.fenyx, FENYXTLC.com.
Love the name
And you can
Phoenix.
get a hold of me that way.
Phoenix spelled a little bit differently, but it's all the same.
Yep.
Reinventing, rising above, and that's what you're working on. That's what I'm working on, and we all should be working on that.
Yep.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you for your being masked down and being very transparent about things. And I will meet you in Sedona at some point. We'll be talking
All
about it.
right. Sounds
Yeah.
like a plan.
Yep. Manifest it. We're whether it's at the same time or not, we're throwing it out there and
Yep.
looking forward next time we
There
get
we are.
together.
All right.
Thank you.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.